Hello everyone, I'm Sherry with the CGH Health Foundation and welcome back to another What's Cooking CGH cooking video where we try to show you an easy, healthy recipe. And I also like to include recipes that might be fun for your kids to help you in the kitchen. And today is a good example of one of those. I'm going to be making a smashed cucumber salad. I saw a recipe a few years ago for smashed roasted potatoes and I tried it. It was so good. You boil the potatoes until they're soft and then you put them on a cookie sheet and smash each one of them with a glass. And then you drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil or butter and sprinkle on some salt and pepper and you put them in the oven to roast. And those are so delicious. The smashed potato has a lot more edges that capture the oil and the seasonings, and I really enjoyed that. And so I love this trend of smashing foods, and when I saw this recipe for smashed cucumber salad, I thought, well, I'll have to try that. And then I wondered why smashing the cucumber made a difference. So I have a favorite culinary reference that I go to ask those questions. And I found out that what happens when you smash your cucumber is that you break down the internal structure of the cucumber. And so that means that there's more surface area there for the water to release. And so that means your cucumber flavor is going to be a little more concentrated, and also for it to absorb your seasonings, the vinegar and everything like that. So I tried it and I thought it worked out really good, and it is fun to play with your food sometimes. I always think of the comedian that used to smash watermelons and everything on stage, and I'm not going to be quite that smashing, but it is fun to kind of play with your food, pound on it a little, get out some aggression. So this is a fun recipe and perfect one for the summertime. Makes for a nice cool side dish or salad. I'm going to start off with an English cucumber, and I like English cucumbers because the skin is a little more thin, and I like to eat the skin. Sometimes I find the big garden cucumbers to just be a little too tough. So I'm starting off with an English cucumber. It's a good sized one. They weigh about a pound, the ones that you want for the proper amount of seasonings in this recipe. So that's what you're going to be looking for. And I'm going to cut the cucumber in half, short ways first, and I work with just half at a time and put it on my cutting board here. And I don't know if you can notice, but I've got a tea towel under my cutting board, and the reason I do that is it keeps the board from sliding around on my hard countertop. So just a tip for you for if you have that situation. So here's the fun part. Here's where you get to choose your weapon. And so you need something that's sturdy, and you could do a meat mallet, and I think that would be maybe one of my first choices. It would be a meat mallet like that. You could do a small saucepan. That would work really good. Make sure it's a sturdy one. The handle's not going to break off. So I considered that. You could do a rolling pin, and that would work really well, except my rolling pin is made out of marble. It's very heavy, and so I was afraid it would do too good of a job of smashing the cucumber. The other thing that I had in the house was this little wooden mallet that we got when we ordered some crab legs or something, and I thought, well, that I think will work really well. And so my weapon of choice today is my little wooden mallet. You use whatever you have in the house, okay? So I've got the cucumber on the cutting board, and I'm going to start off just by hitting it. And you don't, oh, lost a piece already. Might be too strong. You don't want to smash it to smithereens into a pulp. You just want to smash it a few times until you see the cracks developing. And then you know that you have done enough. And then I want to break it down a little bit further. I'm going to slice it crossways, and then I'm just going to cut it into kind of some irregular chunks back and forth. And you probably can't see it, but on my board I see that the cucumber is smashed and a little softened. Let me get that half into the bowl. And work on the other half. And there we go. So see, it doesn't take a whole lot, just maybe a half a dozen, 8 or 10 hits. I'm going to do the other side. I don't see any cracks on this side. And again, lengthwise and irregular kind of chunks. cucumber is already releasing some of that water. I can see it. I want these to be kind of bite-sized, so if there's any that look too big, cut them up just a bit more. And put that in the bowl. Okay, next thing we're going to do is to season that cucumber. Let me get this set aside. This is just going to be salt and pepper. About a teaspoon of each. That would taste pretty salty to me. You can vary it according to your preferences. Salt, about a teaspoon of sugar. And I'm going to grab a spatula. Stir that together. And then while you're going to wait for about 5 minutes here. And so what's happening here is the salt is getting into that cucumber and it's going to help it release even more of that water. And so we're just going to set it aside for about 5 minutes. The only things you're going to add to it after that are going to be some onion and vinegar. And I have a couple of tiny onions from my garden. So I'm going to slice those just into thin little slices. I love having onions in the garden. I can just go out and grab one whenever I need one. They're easy to grow, so if you have been thinking about a little garden, and a lot of us are, onions is a great place to start. And I've got those cut up. Just a little bit of onion, and again, this can be to your taste. Really, any of your favorite cucumber salad recipes you could do with this. Now we're going to pretend, just for the sake of the video, that this has been sitting aside for the whole 5 minutes. We got the onions added in there, and we're going to add vinegar. So again, you could use just about any kind of vinegar I think would be good. A lot of people are a fan of just the white salad vinegar is what we call that sometimes. I like apple cider vinegar. That's one of my favorite vinegars to use. Today I thought I'd use some red wine vinegar. I also have like a white balsamic vinegar, which would be a little sweeter. I have a vinegar that's flavored with tarragon. I thought about using that. I think that would be good too. So just whatever kind of vinegar you like. And this is just going to be 2 to 3 tablespoons. There's 1. There's 2. About 2.5 tablespoons. And stir it up. And there you go. That is a smashed cucumber salad. This is going to go into the refrigerator, and you do want to serve this salad chilled. So I would stick it in the refrigerator for at least a couple of hours or until you need it. And I have one that I made a little earlier that has been chilling in the refrigerator. So let's give it a try. You can see the chunks of cucumber in there. They've been marinating a little bit in that vinegar. Simple seasonings, right? Salt and pepper and vinegar. It's really good. Very refreshing, very simple. I hope you'll give this recipe a try and all of our recipes at my blog, whatscookingcgh.com, and you can find all of our videos on YouTube. See you next time.